And welcome back to the Positive Perspectives Podcast. This is your host, Coach Jason Leon. We are resuming our discussion with Caleb Green, and we're talking about faith and fatherhood and whatever else comes up because we're flexible like that. Thanks for joining. Let's dive in.
I apologize, but the corrector does not like to be corrected.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny about that? You're right, but I think that when let me raise a bar on that.
Please.
When you have an environment where you can be corrected, where the people around you, or you trust them enough to receive that correction, knowing that it's in love, that, you know, what they say, a stopped clock is right twice a day.
Right.
I mean, you can be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm that. My wife is fantastic, but dude, sometimes I'm like, I'm trying to hear what you got to say mode.
Yeah.
I'm in noise cancellation mode. I'm not in transparency mode. I'm in noise cancellation mode.
No, I feel you. And it was said so sweetly too. It wasn't like it was like,
wrong.
You are wrong. It was more like a, next time could you ... And I was like, blink, 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 blink.
I get that all the time. That's how it comes to me. I'm like,
yeah.
Look, I press my teeth. I press the molars up. They're all the way up here now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I just, it's fortunate that we do have people in our life who are going to share with us like that, because it makes a big difference in our walk. If, when you're standing on the podium, like you and I, we get to publicly speak probably more than the average bear.
Yeah.
And the moments of transparency, not nakedness, but if it is naked, or if it is transparent, close to naked, but you take it just far enough, because you have to impress upon people that listen. You can't put me up here and somebody else down there. We're all really kind of down here. Okay. I just more experienced at doing this thing, so where I can stand here and be the proclamation person, the proclaimer,
right,
the exhorter, as opposed to the person who is going to take it in and have to listen. And basically, it's entertainment. People want to be entertained.
For sure.
People don't want to be trained.
Right.
Training
is discipline.
Yeah, training is discipline. Here's like my boys. I got 5 sons, man. Love my boys. And I'm like, hey, listen. At your age, you should be here. Oh no, that's it. Stop. I'm talking now. Like now. You're telling me that you don't have time, yet I've seen you play video games for 20 hours this week. Oh, that's my relief. Son, you can't have that much downtime until you actually achieve something.
For sure.
You do that 80 hours a month. You could have had several degrees, certifications, the things that you say you're pursuing. Go make it easier so that when you take the class, you don't have to work that hard.
Yeah. Dads and accountability, right? Keeping, holding our children accountable, holding ourselves accountable too. I mean, because dads need to talk to other dads that can hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
That are not willing to take them to task and say, well, did you do this? Or are you doing this? Maybe you should try this, that kind of stuff, having some mentors, some good folks that are in your camp that are telling you, when you're failing and when you're succeeding, to help you, get to those places you need to get to. But who, out of curiosity, I know this is a side note question, but who do you talk to that helps you?
Man, I have a handful of people that I really share like my deepest, rawest emotions. You being one of them, because I know that if I call you, you're going to tell me the truth. You're going to give me, you're going to give me not what I want. Usually my frustration is an exasperation, because that's a lack of patience. So your love tank can really get low, because we're human.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to allow you to beat down or squander resources that hurt us because you don't have discipline. I'm not, nope,
right.
Not gonna do that. Or you work so hard on behalf of somebody, and then they, you sacrifice. I'd give you an example. This used to happen to me back in the day. This probably happened to you a few moments ago. You'll get it. Having a big family, and so I had to do extra. Mom's not out there working because I didn't want her to work. I'm out there doing extra.
Right.
I make $200 here, $300 there, $350 here. Go and do gigs. That's 8 hours of my life per hour is not a lot, but it's more than what we had. So I was able to use my gifts and talents. So just when I get home and I'm like, okay, in my mind, I need this. I need T-shirts. I got to buy such and such. And then somebody come and tell me that, oh, baby, need a new pair of shoes. We just bought new shoes. Like, what's wrong with the shoes we got? I don't talk to me about no colors. Yeah. They don't match. We wear some blue jeans or something. No, I'm trying to hit it because I'm the one who went out and did all of these things. And now you're telling me that what I made is gone before I even get a chance. The check ain't even cashed yet. And it's so frustrating because then you see, I'm like, put your shoes away. Because if you leave your shoes here, somebody's going to step on them, and then you're going to say you need a new pair of shoes. Oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Oh, no. Because you know why? I'm invested in those pair of shoes more than they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. I got, bruh. Hold up. Want to get on it.
Hey, put me in A flat.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, sorry about that.
It's all good, bro.
That's a real thing, boy. Because they don't get what it costs. And that's usually one of the most grand frustrations that we'll experience is that, dude or young lady, a path for you has been created that will help you soar. And you want to be a weed. You have a beautiful lawn.
Wow.
And you want to be a weed. I'm about to de-weed you.
Round up.
We're not having that. We're not having none of that. And the thing is that, well, don't talk to me. You can't mumble at me. You can't mumble. No, you're going to speak to me. What is your plan? Apparently you think you think eating just happens. Apparently you think just cutting on light switches just happen. You think that the water flows freely just because we live in this house. No, there's a responsibility. So like me, I'm one of those dads that, okay, I can show you better than I can tell you. And you don't want me to show you. So please let me tell you and show you. Like, I'll show you the way, but don't make me have to allow you to receive consequences that were not intended for you.
Right.
That's what our presence as men do. We prevent unintended consequences because of the standard, because we are the standard. And if we're not the standard and we're corrected, that's fine. But you can't even gloat on the fact that you corrected me once out of 1,000 opportunities to be right. You had the opportunity to be right because I gave you a path that allowed you a less friction. Right. I'm going to ensure that you know how to navigate these situations because I'm going to be with you. And then the further you get in life, the further behind I'm going to be. It's just like when you help a child ride a bicycle. You're right there every time they can't fall. They don't even know what it is. But let them knees get scraped up on the days that you're not there. Come home, and I had come home one time, son's whole side of his face tore up, knees and the whole nine, because he fell on his bike. And that's the kind of pain you never want them to feel. That you just don't.
Right.
I guarantee you have their undivided attention. And even though they learned, I didn't want that for them.
Right.
And that's what we do. Yeah. We don't want that for them. Well, now they know. There are people like, now they know. No, it's not. That's not the way. The way is if you listen to the wisdom that's being presented to you, right? You will live better. You will live well. You will live in a way where you don't even put yourself in those positions.
Right.
And you get the what if. I would rather have 1,000 days of smooth sailing because I was obedient than to have 1,000 days of experience of having to overcome and sweat and stress. It makes you a different person. You don't have that compassion. You're like I was talking about that love tank. Your love tank isn't full. You can't pour onto people and become potpourri. Most people become poopery because of what they've been through.
That's
So,
true.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So potpourri is different. You walk, man, it smells nice. Well, that's an environment that's been provided because of ... And you go, what is that? What does that smell? Poopery? What is that? Well, that's all the challenges that they've been through. And then they want to smear you with it. I'm like, nah.
I mean, I don't think it should be, me personally, I don't think it should be a situation where you say, well, I struggle, so they should struggle too. I think it's more like there will be struggles. Hopefully you won't experience the same struggles I do. And then you will learn from those struggles that you do have to go through. You will have to go through them, but hopefully it's not the same, the ones that I went through.
It's how we started, Jay. We started talking about the earphones. We started with the earphones. What do we, if you read the instructions, or if you receive instruction, you know how to do things a lot better than the people who don't. But there are people who want to, at your expense, children, at your expense, want to experiment. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we live well.
I like how you said that, at your expense, because there is a difference between struggling and it affecting just you. But generally, you and I both know as dads that generally speaking, when our kids experience struggles, it's not just at their expense. Everybody gets dragged into it.
Who do they? Who do they run to?
Exactly.
Because you'll tell, if they go check with their friends, you're gonna be like, well, why didn't you come home? And then when they come home, you're like, well, why don't you go ask your smart friends? Because it's like there's a little bit of pushback from us, but it needs to be, I think.
I read this book, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but I think it's a Bible-based book, but it's called basically the gist of it is interpreting the scripture from the context that it was originally in.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that they brought up, I want to talk to you about this because it has to do with fatherhood specifically, is that the concept of shame and the Bible concept of shame. I've heard it said recently that shame is a horrible motivator for change. In our context, it is. In the Western context, it is. But in the Eastern context, they use shame a lot. That metaphor that I just kind of gave you about when a person or a child does something wrong, it pulls everybody. That's the context that they would use shame. They would say, if you do this thing, you are pulling everybody down. So we're trying to pull you back to center because you're pulling everybody. So we're shaming you and letting you know that you are dishonoring this family in such a way that it's making us all look bad. That's a concept that's different from the Western concept because we're individuals.
Spot on. And I think that there are some freedoms that we enjoy that are certainly, I enjoy my freedoms.
Yeah.
But I also believe that, always being a student, the honor that's due the person that's come before you to pave the way for you. And in those cultures, man, I look at it and it's like, wow, in my marriage, I have that culture. And then I have another culture that they don't have the same value. They actually are the same, but in different traditional settings.
Right.
And that is a sternness and a firmness about what they believe, the staunchness. So for me, I'm a person who, when you study and you gather what you're going to gather from a particular subject matter. And then you find a scenario where that doesn't work and you go, okay, well, what's wrong with what I learned? Is just a tool in your box. You may only use a tool in your box once in a lifetime. But the fact that the tool is in your box enables you to become a master craftsman. Nothing is worse than to be on a job and not have the tools that you need. Nothing is worse than having an experience in life and you don't know how to navigate it and you don't know where to go to get the right answer. That's the part that it doesn't have to be that way. So, this may transition a little bit just when you start talking about roles.
Mm-hmm.
My son wasn't meant to experience some things. My daughter wasn't meant to experience some things.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough out in the streets for a pimp. My son ain't no pimp.
For sure.
It's tough in the streets for,
Mm-hmm.
no, my daughter is not that. And she is not going to be subjected to those standards.
Right.
Because that's my role to protect her from that. It's my role to show her what her value is and for her to gravitate towards that,
Mm-hmm.
or him to gravitate towards that so that they can live well, live better. Will they see it? Yes. Will they experience it? Most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have to be their end path? No.
Right.
No. That's not, no. Just no. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
And if there's somebody who's going to tell me different, I said, you go raise your family and let me raise my family. You'll see the difference. You'll look like you're winning sometimes. Because I can remember, man, I'll be 60 this year by the grace of God.
Wow.
I can remember my mom saying to me, what these people are doing today, I don't want you to be a part of. Which I don't smoke, I don't drink. I'm grown and I can have a drink, but I'm not a drinker.
Right.
I'm not a smoker. I never have been.
Yeah.
But the people in my life who I was around, some who are my friends, they had that as a part of their lifestyle. I can see the consequences. I'm not talking about health crisis or nothing like that.
Right.
I can see the consequences for the decisions they made. And it's usually around here and here. And I'm not trying to talk about anybody in particular. It shows.
Right.
And so when their health is failing and mine is not, and I look at the difference, you're going to say, what is the difference? Well, I didn't smoke and I didn't drink and I didn't do these things. I don't do drugs. I didn't, those things matter. Well, you got to live one. No, bro, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I am not the most handsome man in the world. And I know this. You put me up next to whomever. You. Maybe handsome as you.
Nice try.
but think about what I'm saying for a second.
Yeah, I know. I
can guarantee you that the experience that I have as a father, the experience that I have is becoming a father, the things that it takes to become a father. I can never be you, but I had the same joy, no matter how I look. There is a reward that I received, no matter how I look. It's the same. So there are people who are hung up on looks. There are people who are hung up on stuff and things, possessions, status. Hey, at night I go to sleep in peace. By the grace of God, our bills are paid, and there's a little extra sometimes. When I go to sleep at night, I'm not worrying about somebody coming to get my family, because the way I live is going to affect them being able to go to the store or go to church or drive from point A to point B, because I got somebody looking for me and they're trying to hurt me because we don't do that. We teach and have taught and exemplify a higher calling and a path that doesn't make their lives like that.
Right. That's big. What you just said. The way that we live makes it so that they can live better, and that they don't have to live in fear or somebody's going to come get them or take me out and them. We don't live like that. And that's the result of good decisions over time.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're compounded. We walk into places for free that a lot of people have to pay a great part of their income for.
Yeah. And, I'm glad that you said that, because that is something that sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes I take it for granted, but when I think about where I came from, I said this in the last podcast, that I came from the streets. And I say the streets, I came from the New Haven, Connecticut rivals, any city in New York, any city, any city
Any
in New York.
girl that's kind of got it
Everybody
going
was,
on
if
like
you
that.
mention New Haven, Connecticut, folks will be like, "Oh, you came from there." So everybody was there, and I know what the projects was like, the actual projects. Folks that were on welfare, folks that were eating that government cheese, because I know about the government cheese. It's good stuff
Yes,
on grilled cheese sandwiches, by the
that's
way.
good.
Side note.
That's good.
But I came from that, and seeing is how life has changed. Walking into, again, buildings and spaces that people have to pay for, we get it for free because
Mhm.
of the decisions that we've made.
And that is correct.
Yeah.
You know, man, that's such a powerful thing. It came at great cost,
Yes, it
quote
did.
unquote. It came for your service. You sacrificed when people were able to do what they wanted to. I don't know how you could be in the army, man. You know, they tell you what to do, where to be. No, I can't do that. And the people that I was telling you about, the smoke, drink. So for me, it was they would smoke herb on the street corner and drink Old English 800 and whatever else in Mad Dog 2020. Like, I'm
Yep.
going back. We ain't even talking about the high
Yeah.
end stuff. We talking about rack. Right?
Yep. Yep.
And here I am at my age, and I see my people,
Mm.
and I look at them sometimes. People like, Caleb, and I got to look in because I don't even recognize you because life has been that hard. Those decisions have drained life from you. Can you clean up? Yeah, you can, but can you get back that time? No, you can't. That time has been deposited, and what you did with it is what you did with it. And you know, I just take a look at all of the choices that I've had to make. We were talking earlier, we're talking about the kids.
Mhm.
And man, when I retired from the Army, I got offered an opportunity to be a background vocalist, right? Meaning I could travel and sing with whomever, you know, you just be a part of a quorum and they'll, hey, we need you, and you. You go to Singapore for a month and back up whatever artist.
Mhm.
That's what I want to do. I want to be a professional musician. I had 2 kids in school, in high school.
Yeah.
I still had a responsibility here at home that I had to honor more than what my desires would be. Why would I leave my family? Because then that's going to leave somebody else to come in and have influence. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. If you're not being a husband, somebody else will be one. No. You're not being a father.
that is actually, yep, that's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can stuff versus me. And now they get me. And as a result of, and it was a heart's decision, not a hard decision, a heart's decision.
Mhm.
My heart was with my babies and my beautiful wife. And so when I decided, I'm like, no, I gotta be here for that. So I became that dad. And man, when you're talking about, like, I always thought we had a wonderful relationship, and we did. It couldn't get any better until it did. And I was like,
Yeah.
like, yo, like, she loves me. He loves me. I always tell people this. I have, for sure, 5 men in my life who, when they tell me they love me, they mean it. And I have 3 women in my life who, when they tell me they love me, they mean it. That's more wealth. I've heard people say that if I just had one person who would tell me they love me.
Yeah. Love is a powerful motivator.
It
for
is.
Sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
do you, I'll stand up to the rock behind them. And I have a pretty good idea that I could win. Why? Are you laughing?
I ain't laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Yeah.
You're like, I ain't laughing though.
So listen to take 6. David took a slingshot and he swung it around his head. I'm like, yeah, because I just have that kind of, when the moment, not a walking in like I'm a bad, no. In the moment, the victory will be mine because that's just the way I walk. That's the way I believe.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if people don't understand it or they don't have that in their life or in their heart, I can't help them.
Right.
I can tell you this. I'm the man who believes what he said, and as much as I love you more than what you said.
I say that all the time. Tell ourselves better stories. Tell yourself a better story.
Yeah.
That is the story. Yeah, the story that what God says, that's the story. That's the better story.
It is it. And you know, just to test of time, I have things today. You know, when we talk about peace, you got peace. You have turmoil, of course you do. You still got it in a peaceful environment. And that's huge.
It is.
And when people try to sell me a narrative that is not consistent with my foundation, now you can shake it, you can shake the foundation. And I think that when the foundation is sure, it's like, oh, what, that's all you got?
Yeah. Shaken
This,
is not destroyed. It's just
yeah,
shaken.
yeah.
Yeah. But I
You know
think
what I'm
people,
saying?
yeah, I think that's one of the things that happens is we allow the shaking to be the story. That's the
Mhm.
story. It shook me and now I can't go forward. It
Yeah,
shook you, but it didn't break you.
that's right. You know,
Yeah.
have you ever been at home in a thunderstorm
Mm-hmm.
and the kids run up
Yep.
and you're like, baby, you're just hearing noise, but we're safe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
It's all this wind when you look out the window. Why are you looking out? Don't look out the window. We're good. We're good in here. Come in. Come on in here. Come in here.
Yep.
Sit at my feet. Let's play a game. Let's tell a story. Let's snuggle under the pillows and boom, 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 boom. Oh, did you hear that? That was the. But there's a security in that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like being safe in his arms. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff happening outside of the bubble.
Right.
But when you're in the bubble, that you don't. He who abides in his shadow, he who abides in
Abides
the
in the
secret
secret
place
place of
of
the
the
Most
Most
High
High shall
shall
abide
abide
in
under
the
the
shadow
shadow
of the
of the
Almighty.
Almighty. Mm-hmm.
And that's what our life is like.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff going on. Can you imagine looking out at the battlefield and like, oh, it feels daunting.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. You seeing stuff is like, oh, it looks like I'm watching this on TV. It's like, oh, don't get
Yeah.
too comfortable, but you can because of where you're positioning.
Right.
And that's how we live, bro.
Right.
Our positioning is different than people who haven't done what we've done, who aren't willing to listen to what we have to say to even get it.
Right.
Because what I've learned about you and myself is we give it away freely. It's just a matter of what they're willing to deposit into their own accounts and do the things that we're telling them about.
Right. So when you think about your role as a dad
Mhm.
and you think about males children versus female children, what would be one or two things that you throw out as advice in terms of how to raise your female children versus your male children?
The first thing for both of them is your
Mhm.
presence. What do you present? You take a bath. Do you shave? Do you wash your clothes? Do you clean your car? Do you make your bed?
Mhm.
Do you wash dishes? Do you sweep the floor? Do you show them or do you tell them? That's
I love it.
huge. Can't tell them anything. If you make it exciting, hey, listen, it's 6 o'clock. We finished dinner. If we get the dishes done, like if I can get you to sweep, if I can get you to mop, if I can get you to clean the table, between the four of us, we can do this in 15 minutes. But if I have to do it by myself, it's going to take an hour. And then we won't have that 45 minutes to go get ice cream, to play this game, to sit down and make music or whatever the goal is.
Right.
There's always a reward for joining me. There's always a reward for being with dad.
Wow. Caleb, that's very, very good. Very good. I'm sorry. I had to interrupt you on that part.
No,
It's very good because it reminds me of how God the Father does us. There's always an incentive. And people don't really think about that too much. They was like, oh, you serve because God gives us incentive and he wants us to do the same thing. It's
mm,
replication.
yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
it
I'm
is.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Wholeheartedly and true.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm glad you said that. It's
Yeah.
like that's the thing that makes me I thrive
Mm,
in that and on that.
yeah.
Knowing, so you and I both have experienced the loss of a parent in
Mhm.
recent years.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie to you, even was talking to my wife about it yesterday. That thing, man, that thing hit me different. It hurt.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, this is your first love. You know what I mean? I love my daddy too. Don't get me wrong. Now,
Right.
me and you, we were like, what'd you say about my dad? It's like it's. I remember showing up in his environment, and they go, "Green, is that your son?" He go, "Oh yeah." Like bro, he stood a foot taller and his aura just woo, 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 just all over the room because his boy brought honor, and then his boy honored him, and then his boy loved him when he wasn't looking. I was planning things for this dude, and then me and my brother be like, "Hey, you need to go get dressed. We getting ready to do this. What? He'd be like, boy, what? And you could see the joy in his face. I was able to take him to places and do things that he had done for me when I was a little boy. My daddy did things, took me places, showed me. I met people that like what we get to do. And,
Right.
and our family is like, what is going on? You know, like, did we just meet this person? Like, yeah, but who made that happen? Because you had to do some certain things in order for us to be in that space.
Mm.
That's what I do with my kids. That's the first thing about your question.
Mm-hmm.
Women are not men.
For
I
sure.
talk to my women, my young ladies, about how what they do affects men, how what they do affects me and mom, how what they do affects the relationship with their brother. So you're saying it's okay to do that? No, Dad, no. I said, well, that's what you just did with your brother. Like, I can show you. I have all of these daily examples, but I couldn't ever do that if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
And then my boys, I'm like, hey, 30 days out, Mother's Day. What you gonna do? What you got? Oh, Dad, what are you gonna buy? No, son. No. Remember, Daddy told you that you need to get a piggy bank? Well, yeah, I'm saving for a video game. I said, yeah, but sometimes video game interrupted, bro. You need to do this because you need to do this on your own. I need mom to know that you did this by yourself. She'd be like, oh, baby, thank you for getting the boys. I'm like, sweetheart, they did that by themselves.
Yeah. Because you want to be able to say that and not be lying.
And not be lying. And then, but see, so gradually, I'm all in, but then they just like that bicycle. Eventually, I'm back, and then I let them fall. But I let them fall here.
Right.
Hey, Dad, did you get Mama anything for Mother's Day? I sure did. Hey, Dad, did we get Mama anything for Mother's Day? Did we? Did you? Because it's a learning curve. Now, like, it was just Father's Day, and I got this wonderful card. Dude, it meant everything to me. Their own words, their own expression. And I know that it's their own words. First of all, they're all grown, but
right.
But it's my relationship with each of them that I saw expressed in those words.
Right. And that says something to you because it makes you poke out your chest a little bit, hold your head up a little high, and just because I was reading a card from one of the kids, and I was like, wow. I said, they dialed in. They know exactly how to get me. You know what I'm thinking about, what concerns me, and the things that they're speaking into my life, which is one of the one of the coolest things is when your children can speak into your life, even if they're offering you advice, which is weird, right? As a parent, when you're offering, and it's good advice, it's something that you might not have considered. Again, if you're a prospective giver, and you're giving it to your children, you expect it has to return back to you, because that's how you know.
So you're right.
That's how you know the quality was there. I planted good seed and it came back. Like,
exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, man. Oh.
And that about does it for this episode. Thank you for joining us on the Positive Perspectives podcast. Next week, we'll be wrapping up this segment. Also, don't forget to share this content if you enjoy it. See you next time. Be blessed and peace out. Just wanna feel